So welcome everybody to another live stream playthrough of a war game, States of Siege game. Today's States of Siege game is Soviet Dawn, designed by Darin Leviloff. We'll be using the 2020 Worthington Publishing Edition. And of course, I won't be playing the game because the video will guaranteed be very short. A live stream, we will have someone who's very experienced, and that is David Kennedy from the SoS States of Siege bunker. But before we bring him in, let's see who is in the chat. And we have Thomas Hartless from Detroit. Welcome, Thomas. Also, Daniel Silverthorne from San Jose, California. Welcome. We also have Paul Dangle from Philly. And we have there Igna Pervitube. Grandes. Okay, saludos from Asturias, Spain. Wow. Okay, that's great. Francisco Javier Ruiz Gomez, our man in Malaga, Spain. Also, we have our man from Kitchener, Canada, which is William Arends. Jay Sturgill, welcome from Spokane. And our man in Belgium, Christophe Declercq. Welcome, everybody. So let's go. Let's bring our guest in. And our guest, here he is, David Kennedy. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much, and hopefully I can deliver on a game that'll last beyond the Twilight events.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, you got a better chance than I do. So Joe Quiñones is also here. So welcome, Joe. So this is a game that is one of the most widely known games in the States of Siege line. It's been published various times. And this is that we're going to use the latest edition. And about this game, what has been your experience with this game, David?
Well, as I have mentioned, this game is a bit of a homecoming for me, since it was the very first States of Siege game that I got. And as I have written elsewhere, I have played it, I've lost track, but easily over 2,000 times. And it's just a phenomenal game in terms of just the balance and the action and the chaos of the revolution. Like it all really comes through. And it's the kind of game that I would have to say it really taught me a lot just about design and development. I've been thinking about it for a very, very long time, since basically 2009. So I'm really looking forward to this session.
Okay, so we have a little slide presentation for everybody because we're going to use certain optional rules that are in the game, and David's going to explain why use these optional rules. We're not using all the optional rules in the game, just certain optional rules, and David will explain why. So let's bring in our slide here. So here we have, obviously, this is the Worthington 2020 edition. This is the cover there, Soviet Dawn. This is the game that is available, I think, from Worthington if you want to purchase it, right? It's not.
Yes.
It's widely available. It's been so for a while, so it's there. You can order the game from Worthington. We're not being sponsored or anything. The copy that I got, I purchased. So that's the game. And the game designer here is Darin Leviloff, and he's designed other games. We played Ottoman Sunset, and I think he has some other States of Siege games. He is what everybody agrees is the father of States of Siege system. And this game originally came in a Ziploc bag, and that is what you see there, basically with Victory Point games, the very tiny Ziploc bags there. Uh, so after that, that was in 2009. In 2014, C3I published in issue 27 a version of the game, even with cards, including the cards, C3I Magazine issue 27, 2014. But the one we will be using, I think it's the more like deluxe version available so far. It even has standees. This is the Worthington Publishing Edition of 2020. And as I stated before, there's going to be some optional rules and variant rules that we will be using. So let's talk about those, David, the first one that comes in the list is the Last Battalion. What is this rule about, and what is the purpose?
Well, the reserve offensives don't really pack much punch. They're just an extra offensive. With the Last Battalion rule, you can use a reserve offensive so that if there is a tie on an offensive, you can commit one of your reserves and push it over to victory. And it gives a player a good, useful option beyond just an extra offensive.
Okay, so that's an extra use for the reserve offensives. And it's we have the variant that when rolling for a reorganization action and you come up empty because the resource you have is already in play and you already have acquired the reserve, the Imperial Gold, you get a reserve offensive chip. Now, I don't think that doesn't happen frequently, but in case it happens, that's what you would get. Why? What's the purpose
Correct.
of this variant?
The purpose is essentially to reward the player for trying hard and succeeding. And if they whiff a roll where they can't get any more help from the reorg table, it can be kind of demoralizing. And it's just a very small, subtle change, but the effect is just to encourage the player to have heart and like, hey, you got something in terms of Trotsky's efforts to reorganize the Red Army.
Okay. So the other optional rule, and when I say optional rule, these are in the rule book. The optional rule 12.3, check this out. Here, the checker marker is available to the player at the beginning of the game, as opposed to in the regular game, you have to roll for reorganization, and if you're lucky, and you roll a 1 after you obtain a resource, then you get the checker. So why is this, do you recommend to play with this optional rule, Dave?
Honestly, if you're not playing with this, like, just forget it. You're going to lose the game. One of the challenges with Soviet Dawn is that the decision space is very shallow. So it's kind of like, Russian roulette. And to a lot of players, that can be very frustrating. And in fact, to most players, it is frustrating because it's like, well, you feel like you don't have any options. By simply starting with this, it's thematically spot on. We are the commies, and this is the way we roll. And what Checker does is it allows you to scotch an event. That just simply means that when you draw a card, you can say, hey, I don't like this card. And you can just shuffle it back into the deck, and you get a couple of action points as well. What this does, and it's huge, is it gives the player much more agency, and it actually allows them to think strategically, given that there's a lot of issues right out of the gate, and it gives them the option of then, how can I handle things like Finland, like executing the Tsar, like the Czech Legion, to name just a few. And I cannot emphasize this enough. If you're playing the game, you really, really should be playing with Checker. Check this out.
Okay. So the next optional rule, political recovery. Here, if Petrograd or Kiev are recaptured, we liberate them, then we receive an immediate free political action. Why do you like to use this optional rule?
Well, as I've said, the game tends to be punishing. And this just simply means that, okay, you're under a lot of pressure, particularly if Petrograd or Kiev have fallen, and you essentially are battling hard and like, hey, we're holding the city and whatnot. And it essentially allows you the possibility to recover. And it's really important. Again, it's like a real morale booster because it's not an automatic thing. but also the fact that instead of political recovery, you could actually say, damn it, I'm going to roll on the reorg table. And that's kind of a Hail Mary, but again, it just thematically, it works really, really nicely, particularly if you hit the jackpot and you get something.
Okay. So the next one, these are variant rules. So these are
Sure.
two rules here. The first one, no zooming. And what it says is that every time that the political level status increases, for example, from international pariah to leftist sympathies, then you can't do any more political actions during that turn. Why do you think this rule is necessary in the game?
There's a phenomenon called zooming where you get on the political track and there's a strategy where people just say, forget it, just roll on the political track and win the game. And it's really cheesy, it's really gamey, it's really ahistoric. And essentially, the zooming just means that it's tough to build up your legitimacy to the point where you could achieve political victory. And so this, for instance, like the Jassy conference, you could literally go from 1 to 9 in a single turn. And at some level, the player just has to ask themselves of like, really? Really? So this just essentially it's kind of just a braking mechanism that is conducive to making the game more interesting.
Okay. And then the other one has to do with the Western allies. The political level cannot advance into the allies' indecisive spaces as long as the Western allies have not entered the game. And here we see what we will do to indicate this. We will place the indecisive marker in this first allies' indecisive space here. So that means that until the Western allies have not entered the game, we cannot push for our political level beyond this 6 space.
Correct. It's just the idea that any early political success has a limited potential. And once the Western allies are in the game, okay, fine. Now you can get into those spaces, but not before. Again, early on, you're just trying to survive.
Okay. Now, the other card or variant rule has to do with the polls. It's called making the polls count. And here we set aside 6 cards that have Polish events that pertain to the polls. And we only bring those cards in once Germany capitulates. And we then shuffle the Polish National Uprising card into the event deck. And then that ensures that those cards there in that first bullet that have to do with the polls will come out. So why do you believe this is a rule that is necessary in this game where historically the polls entered like in the later part of the war?
One of the dynamics that a player can feel is that there's the 3 epochs. You've got Twilight, you've got Darkness, and you've got Dawn. Twilight is bad, Darkness is worse. And once the player gets into the Dawn events, there can be a kind of sense of we're cruising. Everything's fine. We're just taking names, kicking ass, and the game is kind of over. What this does is it injects some dramatic coherence into the story, which is historically based, that the polls were a real problem, and it just makes the game more fun because it can happen. And I see that it has happened so many times where a player essentially is in cruise control and it's all downhill. And with the polls coming in late, no, that's not going to be the case. And it's one more final challenge to get to survive and get to the end of the game. It's always a very bittersweet game if the polls take you out.
Okay. So this ensures that the polls will be, when they come in, they will be taking actions, because otherwise you could have the situation where Polish events come up, but they haven't entered the war yet, so they are completely ignored, right?
Correct. And I understand the impulse, and actually I applaud it. But like anything, it just needs to be applied with some prudence. That's all.
Okay.
And we're just essentially trying to tighten up the narrative so that it just feels even better.
Okay. So let's go to the table. Here we have the table. We have a scoreboard, which we'll be using here. And here's the scoreboard. At the beginning of the game, we start with our political level at 1, which is precarious, because if it goes down to 0, if this happens, we lose the game. If this happens, we lose the game. It's a collapse if it goes down to 0. So that's political level is something that we're gonna have to be very keep an eye on very early. So political level is 1. We have the reserve offensives 5, and we have political decrees at 2. These are one-shot deals. Once we use them, they're gone. Now, with the optional rule variant that we mentioned here, there's a chance we may get one of these back, but there's a specific situation that you already have the resource that you rolled, and the Imperial Gold is also, you have it, and otherwise you wouldn't get any resource. Then you pull one of these back. So we have the scoreboard ready, and we're about to begin. There's also this, we'll be taking a look at the status of the Czech Legion there. It can become active, and we have the scoreboard there. That will change also, and the status of the Great War, we'll also keep an eye on that. Okay, so let's begin the game. And the first phase is the headline phase. So we will be flipping a card here. Just a sec. Okay, so we'll be flipping our first card. Oh boy. So we got
Excellent news.
Tsar's fate decided in Ekaterinburg. So let's let me see if I can, just a second here. Camera connected again.
This is very good news.
Okay.
This is good news because this is on our to-do list from the get-go. And that we can deal with this up front right now is perfect. One key item off the to-do list.
Okay, my camera just froze on me. Let's freeze it. Okay, so here we are. So, okay, so we got that event there. So we check the status of Ekaterinburg and apply the Tsar's fate to it. So right now, Ekaterinburg has not been reached by, you have there Admiral Kolchak. He's still in his starting space here in Irkutsk. So that means that what happens to the Tsar? He's executed, right?
Correct. Our boys are hard at work right out of the gate, so fantastic. So just take that Tsar chit, and it's just going to give us a +1 on all our offensives this turn.
Okay, so I'll just take the Tsar out of there. He's been executed. And just to let you know, the game brings a nice picture back there. Tsar executed. We'll just keep him outside of the box. Well, and we have it here, so I guess you could place it there also. But
you could, but I find it's visually redundant, not necessary.
So we got a +1 whenever we attack that army, the Kolchak's army.
Any army, across the board.
Oh boy, man, that was a blessing in disguise then. Okay, so that was the headline phase, and now we go to
just
yeah.
As a comment, if you don't execute the Tsar, you're almost certainly going to lose the game. Yeah. Simply because the downside of a permanent -1 on all your offensives is just almost impossible to come over. So out of the gate, this is on your to-do list, and you must remember to keep an eye on the Eastern Front so that you can execute the Tsar. And that just means keeping them out of, what's that city called? Ekaterinburg?
Ekaterinburg, yes.
Just keep them out of there early in the game so you can get it done.
Okay. Okay, we got Smekti. Welcome also. He's here. So let's see the fronts that move. Let me just get the picture here again. Let me get a picture here. Now we got, okay, so we got fronts that move. We got Baltic. The Allies are not in the game yet. Poland is not in the game. So it's going to be Baltic and Southern. Okay, so we got the Baltic front there in Riga, and it's going to move to Estonia. And we have the Southern front here with Denikin in Crimea, moves into Kharkov. Okay. So that is the front's movement. We go to the next phase, Soviet action phase, and we get, as the card states, 3 actions. So let's mark those. And see.
Now, normally, we would immediately drive up our political level. However, we have a +1. So we really want to take advantage of that. So the first thing that we're going to do
+1 for the SAR also, it only applies to the armies, right?
Correct.
Okay.
It's for the offensives against armies. And in this case, we're going to apply the first one against the Southern Front.
Okay. So let's go now. 1d6 against the Southern Front with a +1. And it is a 3 + 1, 4. So that is a success. And that army goes back to Crimea. So we still got 2 actions left.
We'll turn our attention to the Baltic Front.
Okay. Okay, so we will be attacking the Baltic Front army here. We roll 1d6 and a 2 modified to a 3. That's no luck.
We'll do it again.
Okay, so we'll do it again. We roll 1d6 plus, and that's a modified 7. So that moves back the Baltic Front to Riga. Okay. And that was our 3rd action. So that's the Soviet action phase. Political dissent, the card doesn't, I have it here, the card doesn't call for a political dissent check, so that doesn't apply, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that was our first card. So
and just for clarity,
yeah,
political dissent tends to happen very infrequently. It'll happen maybe at most like a half a dozen times throughout the course of the game.
Okay. So let's flip the next card here. Ottomans seize the Caucasus. Let's freeze that there. And the first phase, it says that there's going to be a +1 die roll modifier on all offensives this turn. So that's...
Are you sure?
A -1. I said
yes,
+1.
Big difference.
-1. -1.
Big difference.
Yeah. Okay. -1. Yeah. So that's the headline phase. So we go to the advances, and we see advances by Finland and the Southern Front. Okay, so the Finns. So let's move the Finns.
Let's roll on the political level track, please.
Okay. But we have that's in the action phase. We're in the front's movement.
I'm jumping the gun.
Okay. Okay, so the Finns move to Helsinki.
Wait a minute, who moves?
The Finns.
No, okay. No. I was going to say, but the Finns are not in the game right now.
Oh, they're not. So they're not in the game.
They are not in the game.
Okay, that's an important point.
That's really important.
Okay, so let me see that. Let's go back to the cards. So the cards it would only be the Southern Front that's going to be Denikin here.
Correct.
Okay, so Denikin moves again to Kharkov. Okay. Okay, so now that's the front's advance phase. Now we have our 3 actions. So let's put those 3 actions there. And we have a -1 against all fronts this turn.
So we're not attacking. We will drive up the political level. Give me a roll.
Okay, so here we see the political level track. And we have to roll higher than this number, right? It's 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's spend our first action. Here we go. And the roll is a 1, so that's no good.
Do it again.
And we do it again. We roll 1d6, and the roll is a 3, not higher, so no.
Do it again.
And here we go again. And oh my goodness. Oh boy, this is living on the edge here. Okay, so
All right, we're not there yet, but we'll get there.
Okay, so there's no political dissent to roll because the card doesn't call for it. So let's go back here to the card and let's flip our next card. And this one is Czech Legion Revolts. Okay, so it's going to be a minus
Here's
one.
what we're going to do.
Minus
No,
one.
stop.
Yeah, die roll modifier against the Eastern until the Czech Legion withdraws. But we have a +1, right?
No, what we're going to do is we're going to use that Czech counter, remember?
Okay, let's show the folks what the Czech does. Let's take a look here at the.
By the way, Czech is, you should, to make it clear, it should be on Moscow right now.
Yeah, we have it at the beginning of the game. I should have placed it here. So we have the marker there. Let's show everybody what it does. And it's there on the board. So we can see here. You can see that the Czech, you can use it once to reshuffle a just revealed event card like this one, which is not good for us, back into the draw pile. And we take 2 free actions, right?
Correct. So shuffle Czech back into the event deck.
Okay. So,
and I know what I want to do for my 2 free actions.
So I'll shuffle the Czech Legion card back into the event deck. I'm going to shuffle this again. Here's my shuffling skills, which are not super great, but.
And what I would point out to everyone while you're doing that is that this is an example of the agency that Czech introduces to the player when you start with it, with the player in hand. And Czech Legion entering is a huge event.
And because, I'm sorry.
Because essentially it turns the Eastern Front into a 4 battle strength. And that's just so much more challenging than a 3 strength. So one of our strategic objectives is to not deal with it now, push it out to the future, and God willing, it does not come up before this deck of cards is exhausted.
Okay, and this...
So we want to deal with it down the line.
And the use of the checker, we used it goes back to the display?
Correct.
Okay, so we place the checker marker there.
And God willing, I'm going to get it back.
Okay. So we take 2 free actions. Let's put them on the scoreboard.
Political level.
Okay, let's go for political level. Here we go. We got to roll higher than a 3. We roll 1d6. And still no luck. It's a 3.
Do it again.
And we roll again. Political level. Come on. Oh, jeez. This is awful. Oh, boy. Okay. So
hit me again. Give me another card. Well go for dissent now.
No, we go now to... Now we go to the... we draw another card, right?
Yes, excuse me.
Okay. So let's draw another card now. Hope it's not the Czech Legion again.
What do you got?
Okay, we got minorities form breakaway republics. So it says no restrictions.
Fine.
Okay, we'll take that. So that is the headline phase. And now we go to front movement. Advances by only the Eastern Army advances. Okay.
Correct.
So that is Kolchak. And here we see Kolchak. He's in Irkutsk. Now he moves to Omsk. Okay. And that was the front's movement phase. And we have our Soviet action phase. We have 2 actions. Let's put those on the board.
And we want to put them, we need to keep going to that political level again.
Okay. Political level.
The reason why we must do that is that the Germans are advancing on Petrograd. And there's a reasonable chance that they will take it, and it'll mean that the game is over. So.
Okay. So So here we go. Political level 1d6 and another one.
We'll do it again.
And we do it again. Oh,
I
1d6.
think that's 6 rolls. And that's 7.
Jesus. Man, I can't believe this is like everybody says you rolled poorly. Yeah, I know that, but this is terrible. Okay, so
You're setting a new record.
yeah. So that was Soviet action phase. There's no political dissent, right?
Yes.
And so now we go to a new headline phase. Hopefully, oh, this one's pretty busy. The Treaty of Brest-Litovsk is signed. So,
Fantastic.
okay, so here, let me just zoom in here just a second so people can see better the events there. So here we choose if we accept the treaty with 2 actions, or we use the Bukharin option with 1 action. If we accept the treaty, we're out of the Great War. And if we don't accept the treaty, we're still in the Great War with the Bukharin option. So I guess you're going to take which one, the top option?
Oh, we're definitely we're signing the treaty, and we're saying goodbye to the Germans.
Okay, we're signing the papers here. Okay, so here we add the darkness cards. The Allied track is activated and Baltic goes inactive. Okay, so the darkness cards are these cards here. These are the ones that have the gray.
And have you removed Poland, the Polish uprising?
I have Polish uprising. Yeah, I've removed it.
Perfect.
So let me shuffle these, and then I shuffle them with the draw pile, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's do that.
And you're doing that right now?
I'm doing that right now. I'm shuffling the gray cards, and now I'm gonna mix them with these, and I'm gonna shuffle both together now. So
please.
Okay, so here we go.
And I would point out we have 2 actions, whereas if we took the Bukharin option, we would only have 1.
Okay.
One of the things that I would observe is that the Bukharin option has an upside in that in subsequent events, you can actually get free, your political level can rise as a bonus because of that. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to we won't have that opportunity here.
Okay, so we added the cards. Now the allies come into the game. You can see the allied space over there. So we place their standee, which
Correct.
it's pretty formidable. It's a 4. So,
correct. And remember the indecisive marker that we placed on the political level track?
Yes. So that one, we removed that.
And just put it up in the pieces in play box.
Okay.
Or pieces out of play, excuse me.
Okay, so we just remove that. Then the next is the Baltic goes inactive. So that army here, the Baltic, so
take it off.
I'll just take it out.
And just as an aside to people playing this, just don't fiddle around with the whole Baltic track thing. Just once Germany leaves, just take them out of the game. And when Udenich comes in with capitulation, just put them back in region.
Okay. Okay, so that, I think we complied with all the requirements there of this is the headline, this is the event. So
and
now,
I have 2 actions.
So now,
move those.
Oh, we got the fronts. So we got to move southern and eastern. Okay. So southern moves from Kharkov to Saritsyn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And eastern moves from Omsk to Ekaterinburg. Okay. And now we go to our Soviet action phase, and as you stated, we get 2 actions. You can't see it there, so everybody can see it. There you can see it's 2 actions. So let's add those.
And you know what I'm doing.
Political.
Correct.
Okay, so here we go. Our first die roll, political.
This is number 8.
And finally, 4. So that means that the marker now goes to the number 2 box. We're still in the international pariah area, okay? We got 1 action left.
Reorg. Rolling the reorg table for you. I need a 6.
Okay, reorganization. So we need a 6. And if we get the 6, then we roll again to see which one of these resources we get. But we got to roll a 6 first. So here we go.
Let's do it.
Roll 1d6. And of course, we roll a 1.
We don't care.
Okay, so there goes the action phase. And there's no political dissent to roll for. So let's go back to the cards here. And okay, we pick up our next card. That is in the headline phase. This is Naval Showdown in the Baltic Sea. Roll for political dissent, but we do that at the end of the turn, right? In the political dissent phase, right?
Yes, sir.
We're going to do that now. So we go to front movement. We have the allies, which are formidable, and nobody else because the other ones are not active. So let's move those allies. And the allies, you can see they're in Murmansk. Now they advance into Archangel. Okay, so that's the front's movement phase. And now we have the Soviet action phase. We have 3 actions. Okay.
Rolling the reorg table.
Okay, so we're going to go for the reorganization table. We need a 6. First die roll. And we got it. So we got, what do you want to do?
Just roll
we got to roll again. Okay, so we roll again, and let's see. This roll obviously doesn't cost an action, and it's the Cheka.
But bam, this is really good news.
Okay, so we take the Cheka and we place it in our space for our resources, which is the Moscow space. We still have 2 actions.
Okay, we're going to forego those, and we're going to keep them for political dissent.
Oh, we're going to use them for political dissent. And they work as a die roll modifier, right?
Correct. So what I'm doing is I'm not going to use them for other purposes like an offensive or political action or reorg. I'm going to use them. I'm going to convert the 2 remaining ones into a +2 DRM to hopefully pad my chances on the dissent table.
Okay. Okay. So
I'm trying to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yes, and Bob says, yes, Bob, there's no Stukas in this game. Unfortunately, we can't use them. Okay, so we're going to use them for political dissent. So we go to the political dissent phase. Dissent phase, and here we have the political dissent table. And so it says it there at the bottom. We get a +1 DRM for each forfeited action. So we're forfeiting both of them, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's subtract that. So, and we get a +2. So here we go. And 1 + 2, 3. So no effect. Man.
Okay, but we didn't lose.
That's okay. So that was a political dissent phase. Short and not sweet. So let's go to the next card. We go to the headline phase. So let's take the next card here. And that is Kolchak undermines joint offensive. That doesn't sound good. And there's going to be a -1 versus Baltic and Finland. It's not going to apply because they're inactive. But then if Baltic front occupies Petrograd, then expel in this turn or you lose. That's not going to occur anyway, so no harm there. So we go to the front advancement phase, and we only have advances by the allies. So the allies, as you can see here, they're going to advance now dangerously. I advance them with my hand. You saw my hand. Into Lake Onega. So there you go. Front advancement, that's the only one. Now we go to Soviet action phase. We got 2 actions.
All right, we're going to give me 1 on the southern front.
The southern front, okay.
I'm going to make an offensive there.
Okay, we're going to attack Denikin there. It's Saritsin. We roll 1d6. We got a +1, right? Yeah. Because of the SAR, right? So that's going to be a 2, so it's still a fail.
No, there's no pluses here for us. The Tsar is long gone, and the card doesn't grant us any.
Oh, okay, so it's just a 1 then. Okay.
And we're going to do it again.
Okay, we're going to roll again against Denikin. Here we go. And another 1. Man, this is just terrible. Okay. So that was the action phase. Political dissent phase. There's no political dissent to roll for here. So we go to our next card. And it's going to be...
Oh, and by the way...
Yeah.
Well, actually, just go ahead. Go ahead.
Revolt of Left Socialist Revolutionaries.
Mm-hmm.
If Treaty of Brest-Litovsk is accepted, which is the case, we roll for political dissent. If Bukharin is chosen, instead automatically gain a political point. Okay, so we roll for political dissent not now, right? It's in the phase.
Yes.
Okay, so now we go to front advancement, and only the Eastern Front advances. So we got here a Kolchak. We'll be advancing here to Ufa. Okay. Okay.
And I need to...
We get
roll on the...
two actions.
Okay, these guys are pretty close, and there's a card in there called War Communism, which is really dangerous because it can essentially make a double move. So we're going to attack the Southern Front first.
Yeah. Southern Front is in Saritsin. That's going to be our first attack. We roll 1d6. We got to beat a 3, and it is a 5. So Denikin goes back to Kharkov. And we still have 1 action left.
And we're going to attack the Eastern Front.
Going to attack Kolchak at Ufa. So here we go. 1d6. And the proverbial 1. There goes that was the action phase. And now we go to the political dissent phase, and the card called for a roll for the political dissent table. So here we have it.
So just
with no modification, right?
Correct.
Okay. See if this thing will stay. There you go. Okay, so we roll 1d6. And we lose a political level. Uh-oh. So
we're back to the brink.
Oh boy, so that means that political level goes down to 1. I'm going to show the people here in case this game ends prematurely.
No, but we're really living on the edge here because I should have taken... Okay, well, let's do it. What's the next card?
Okay, so let's go to the next card. That's the headline phase. Here we go. Dunster Force lands to protect oil region. So no restrictions, automatically lose a political point.
We're dead.
That's
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we do this.
We got the checker.
No. Actually, yeah, you're right. Boom, play the checker.
So the checker means we burn it and we place this card back into the draw pile, right?
Correct. And what I would tell our everyone who's watching, what I should have done with the final action point is at least I should have tried to cause my I should have applied it to the dissent roll as a protective measure, or that we do have 2 political decrees laying around, and we are actually, that's one of the things we're going to do. Well, if we can't get it up using the 2 action points that we just got, we will do we're going to burn 1 or 2 of those political decrees to get it up.
Yep. Okay. So,
and as I said, the decision space is very shallow in this game. And at this point, we're going to be living on the edge for a while.
Okay, so I just shuffled them. We get 2 actions, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I guess you want to use them for the political level.
Correct.
Okay,
Just do
so
one and then
roll 1d6. And finally, yes, it goes to box number 2. And we have,
and for good measure, let's do it again.
okay, so we use our last action for a political level, and it's a 5. So look, it seems that it balances itself out. So now it is at 3. So let's put it there on the board. That was the special action phase because there's no card. This is the 2 actions. So now we go back to drawing a card. And so we go to the headline phase. And Friedrich Karl abdicates the throne.
Okay.
There he is. So that means no restrictions. Withdrawal. The Finland front can be removed from play this turn. The Finland front is not even in the game, so they don't even come in.
They are they're gone. They are removed from the game.
They chickened out. The Finns. Come on, Finland.
Well, essentially, we've finessed this political issue. Now, I would also point out to our to anyone who's watching, this is a variant, and this is a good example of why it's really a good idea. Simply because, as you can see, it's a really hard game, and it just essentially incentivizes the player's agency and how they think about the Finnish Civil War early on with the regards to the Cheka counter. We didn't use it for that purpose, but it's really, that's what it's there for. So just take them out of the game. We've got one. So we have had a couple of wins. We got rid of the Tsar. We got rid of the Finns.
Okay, let me do one thing here. Let me see here. Just a second. Where is it? I want to do here. Okay, let me copy this. Just a second. Copy and. Okay, so there's Bob. Okay, that's working. In case we want to highlight a comment, I didn't have that in the scene for some reason. Don't know why. Okay, so the Finns are out. That's the headline phase. We go to the front movement, advances by the Eastern Front and also the Southern Front. So now things are getting interesting once again because the Eastern Front, as you see there, moves Kolchak to Kazan, right next to Moscow. And the other front is the Southern Front moves back to Saritsi. Okay. So now we go to the next phase, Soviet action phase, and we only get 1 action.
We're going to take one of our political decrees.
Okay.
And we're going to use it for a reorg roll.
Okay, so we're going to use it for a reorganization roll. You got Kolchak knocking the door there in Moscow. Sure you want to do
Correct,
that?
Dan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's use the.
This doesn't cost us an action, by the way.
It costs what? An action?
It does not.
It does not. Okay. So we use this for a reorganization roll. It does not cost an action. So here we go. We need a 6. Ah, man. Whew.
There you go.
You got it. So now we roll to see what do we get here. So here we go. And it is a 4. Applied experience. Let's focus in that one so people can see what that means. This gives us, whenever we, in an offensive, we have to roll another die to see if we get a positive, favorable die roll modifier, right?
Yeah, and are you set up to handle that?
Yeah, I got it. So here we have experience. So I'll place it to know that we have it. And does that remain for the rest of the game or just until we use the modifier?
No, it's for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So Trotsky's reforms are going fantastically.
Man, that came in the nick of time. Okay, so we used one of our political decrees. Let me reduce that. So this one is out. So we have one left.
So we're going to use our action to launch an offensive with our newfound experience.
Okay, so this is what you will be seeing here. I will be rolling 1d6, which is the normal white die roll, but you're going to see a red die, and that red die, depending on the result, there are 1 or 2, there's no effect. But if we roll a 3 or 4, that red die causes a +1 die roll modifier, which we add to our white die. And a 5 or 6, we get a +2 die roll modifier. Okay, so we'll be rolling a white and a red die, and I hope this works. I tested it and it works. So here we go. So we burn an action first. Let me burn that action. And we roll 2 dice. And that's like, it's a 1. The 2 doesn't do anything, so that's a fail. With experience.
Okay, so
okay,
we're going to use a reserve offensive.
Okay, so we have our reserve offensives there. You see we have 5, so we're going to use one of them. So take it out. So you basically go again, right?
Yep, but apparently we're not allowed to use our newfound experience.
Okay, we can't use the experience. It's just going to be the white die roll. So here we go. We roll 1d6. Oof.
We're gonna burn another reserve offensive.
Okay, so we burn a second reserve offensive. So that leaves us with 3. And here we go again. 1d6. And man, this is painful to watch.
Do it again.
Okay, so we burn another reserve offensive. 2 left. And here we go. Roll 1d6. Come on. Jesus, this is just
Do it again.
Amazingly awful. So let's spend another reserve offensive, and we have 1 left. And here we go. 1d6. And finally, Kolchak goes back to Ufa. Spent
Thank you.
all the resources. Man, that was painful.
We'll get some back.
Okay, so I think that's the action phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Very expensive.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. Okay, political dissent. There's no political dissent, so that is that card. We go to the next card, headline phase. So let's pick the next card here. It is General Kornilov, killed leading an attack. And here it's a -1 die roll modifier versus the southern front. Okay, that's going to be our penalty for this turn here. So we have an advance by the Allies. The Allies, now the Allies are something we have to worry about. And you can see them there moving into Vologda. Now they're awfully close. And we have 2 actions.
And we will attack the Allies.
Okay, and here we have our experience, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to burn that action and we roll our 2 dice. And it is, okay, that 4 gives us a +1. So we rolled a 5, which is just enough to push the Allies back to Lake Onega.
Mm-hmm.
We have 1 action.
And we're going to attack the southern front.
Okay, the southern front is, 1 second here. We got a -1 versus the southern front.
Oh, excuse me. We don't have a -1 against
Yeah, we got a -1
against.
against the southern front.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then make it against the eastern, please.
Okay, let's attack the eastern front with our remaining action. And what we have our experience to see. We roll both dice. And this time it's a 1 modified to a 2. So because of the die roll modifier. So
Where are the they're both okay. I'm gonna take my final reserve offensive and apply it to break the tie against the Eastern.
okay, because we rolled what, a 2? We rolled a 2 modified to a 3. No. What did we?
I thought we had tied it, but if not, don't worry about it. Just leave it.
I think we rolled a 1 modified to a 2. I think we didn't even get there.
Yeah. In the back of my mind, there's a particular card I'm just I don't want to see. So.
Okay, so that was the action phase. No political dissent here. This card. Okay, so let's go to our next card here, and let's see what it is. This one is German-backed coup in Ukraine. So let me, so there it says, no offensives allowed versus the Southern Front this turn. Okay, you can't attack the Southern Front.
Okay.
Front movements, we have none, no movements. They're all inactive. Can't complain there. So we have 2 actions. Oh,
attack the Eastern?
Yeah, let me, okay, we had the, forgot to deduct the other actions. Okay, we got 2 actions. So we're going to attack the Eastern Front with our first action, and we have our experience. So here we go. This time it's a 5 modified by 2 to a 7. That's an overkill. So the Kolchak goes back to Ekaterinburg.
Good.
Okay.
And we cannot attack the Southern Front?
Nope. The card here says we can't attack the Southern Front this turn.
We're going to roll in the political level track.
Okay. We're the political level track. Okay.
We need to beat a 3.
Okay, here we have it. Okay, so here we go. Our last action. Nope. That was that.
Okay.
Okay, so no political dissent. No political dissent here. So now we go to pick a new card. And here we go. Headline phase. Don Cossacks attack. Is German aid involved? So that's a -1 versus Southern and -1 to reorganize. That's pretty bad. Okay.
No, +1 to reorg.
Oh, it's a +1. See, that print there, I can't see it well. Okay, so it's a +1 to reorganize. -1 versus the Southern Front. Advances only by the Southern Front. Okay. So the Southern Front now advances from Tsaritsin, now dangerously close here to Orel. And now we have our action phase, and we have 3 actions.
We're going to attack the Southern Front despite the -1 DRM.
Okay, so we got a -1, but we may cancel it with the experience, right?
I'm counting on it.
Okay, so let's deduct the action. We roll our 2 dice, and we rolled that ends up being a modified 1, a modified 2, so not good enough.
Why is it a modified 2? Oh, yeah, right. Got it. Thank you.
Because it's a +2 for the experience and -1, so, yep. Want to do it again?
Oh, absolutely. We have to.
Okay, so here we go. Roll 2d6. This time it's, this time it's a 7, it's a modified 6. So that's very good. So Denikin goes back to Tsaritsin. We still have 1 action.
We're going to roll when we have a +1 for the reorg.
Yes.
We're going to roll on the reorg table and use the +1.
Okay, so we're going to use a +1 on the reorg table. Here we go. We roll 1d6. And a 2 modified to a 3, not good enough. Okay. So that was a
All right.
Soviet action phase. Political dissent. There's no political dissent this turn. So now we go to the next card. Okay, so let's see what we get. And it is German Baltic Division lands in Finland. There's no restrictions. Take that. And front movement phase. We have an advance only by the southern front. Okay.
Okay.
So the southern front now moves again dangerously close here to Orel. And now we have our actions. We have 2 actions.
Offensive against the southern front.
Okay, so we'll go against the southern front. Here we go. So roll 1d6 against the southern front. Oh no, I have to roll. No, I have to roll the 2 dice because we have the experience there. So here we go. We roll,
Please.
and we have that is +1 only. So not good enough. 2.
We'll do it again.
Okay, so we roll again. So last action. Here we go. And this time it's a 4. So that's good. So that moves Denikin back to Saritsyn.
Mm-hmm.
We burned all our actions. That was our action phase. Political dissent. There's no political dissent here. So let's go to our next card here. Headline phase. Hungry Spring, kulaks threatened. Let me put that there. Here you go. No offensives allowed versus the southern front this turn. Okay. Southern front is in the Saritsyn in the 2 space. Movements by the eastern front, which is the only active front. So the eastern front moves now into Ufa.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have actions. We got 3 actions.
Attack the eastern.
Okay, so we're going to attack the eastern front. Here we go. Our first action. No, it doesn't count. I have to roll. Forget. I have to roll the. These are the silent dice. I forgot to put the the sound for these 2. Here we go. Okay, the 5 brings that 3 to a 5. So that's more than enough to push Kolchak back to Ekaterinburg. Got 2 actions.
Political level track, please.
Okay, so let's go to the political level track. You see it there. We roll 1d6. Got to roll higher than a 3, and it's a 1. No good.
Do it again.
And we do it again. And this time, yes, we get out finally of that international paria zone. So we're now in leftist sympathies. Okay, so we're further away from that 0. Okay. So political dissent, there was no political dissent called by the card here. So now we go to our next card. Next card is Hoffman, offensive launched. Okay. Let me lock that in. No offensives allowed versus Baltic. Okay, they're inactive, so no problem. Advances only by the southern front. Okay, so the southern front is the only one that advances. And it moves from Saritsyn, again, dangerously close here, to Orel. And we have, we got how many actions there? It didn't lock 2 actions. So let's put those 2 actions on the board.
We'll attack the southern.
Okay, so let's go against the southern front. We roll our 2 dice because we have that experience resource. Here we go. So the roll is, okay, it's a 5, a modified 5, which is good enough to push Denikin back to Tsaritsyne. And we have one action left.
We'll attack the southern front again.
So okay, let's deduct that action and attack the southern front again. Here we go. And the roll is a 6, which modifies the white die roll to a 5, which pushes Denikin back to Kharkov.
Excellent.
Staying alive, like the Bee Gees. Okay, so that was the, man, I got to update this thing. That was our action phase. Political dissent. I don't think the card called for any political dissent here. So that's the end of that card. Let's go to our next card here. Headline phase. And it is counter-revolutionary government formed. No restrictions for the Soviets, but automatically lose 1 political point. So we lose that right now, I suppose, right?
Yes.
So that means that we reduce a political point, so we go back into the international pariah status, but we are at 3. Okay, so we have now the front movements. Only the southern front will be advancing, and we see the southern front there in Kharkov. So it moves now to Tsaritsyne. And now we go to Soviet action phase. We have 3 actions. Let me put the third action.
We're going to attack the southern front.
Okay, so we'll use our first action against the southern front. And here we go. Let's see if we get that bonus. What the hell is that? That doesn't count. I'll roll again. That's one of the glitches. One of the glitches with this program. You don't know what's below that. We'll go again. Here we go. So here we go. And it is the 5 modifies a roll to a 3, which is not enough. So that's a fail.
Okay. It's not imperative. I considered using my last reserve offensive, but we're not. Do it again.
Okay. So we're going to go against Denikin again. So spend our second action.
Yes.
Here we go. And this time it's a 5 and a 5. So that 5 modifies it to a 7. So that is good enough to move Denikin back to Kharkov. Okay. And we still have one action.
We're going to roll a political action.
Okay, political action here. Here we go. Roll 1d6. And no good. Okay. So that was the Soviet action phase. There's the card doesn't call for any. Did we deduct a political point? Yeah, we did, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we did. Okay. Yeah, so a political dissent, no political dissent. And we have 1 Jin. Greetings from Badajoz. Welcome. Okay, so let's go to headline phase, the next card. Trotsky introduces political commissars. So that's going to be a -1 to all, no, +1. That plus, you can barely see it, to all offensives. And we automatically lose a political point. So let's deduct a political point here. So now the political point goes down to 2. Okay. And so now I start to worry about that. Right? So now we go to front movement, the Allies. They had been dormant. You can see them there.
We're going to attack the Allies.
In Lake Onega, then they move into Vologda. And now we have the action phase. We have 3 actions, and we will be attacking the Allies. Okay.
Correct. Let's do it.
Okay, so we deduct the first action, roll our 2 dice, and that is a modified 6, where we kick the Allies' ass back to Lake Onega.
Do it again.
Okay, so we will attack the the Allies again. Oh, and we have a +1 to all offensive, so that was even higher score. So,
Yes.
okay, so we deduct the next one and roll again. It's a 1 modified by this die to a 2 and by the card modifier to a 3. Not enough.
And we'll do it one more time.
Okay, so that's our last action. Here we go. And this is a 5 modified to a 7 by the card. It's an 8, so this is a overkill again. Go back to
Perfect.
Archangel. Okay, so that was our last action there. Political dissent. There's no. Oh, what was that? Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. And there's no political dissent. So we go to our next headline card. Headline phase here. Put the card. Trotsky leads red, saves Petrograd. Okay. We got no restrictions. And so we have an advance by the Southern Army there. That's going to be our movement here, the Southern Army. See, it advances from, there you saw my hand. Okay, to Saritsyn. There you go. That's the only front movement. Yeah, just a second. It didn't capture the card. Just keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, folks. I'm still catching the. Okay, now I have it. Okay, so that was the front's movement phase, a Soviet action phase. Why? There's a 2 and a 0. We got the 2. What do we get?
What we're going to do is we're going to build the Petrograd fortification, and we'll get 0 actions.
Okay, wait a second. Let me just. Oh, because we can build the Petrograd fortifications.
Just flip it.
By flipping it. Oh, okay, so we use the. Okay, so we're going to burn our 2 actions for that. And you see this marker here at the beginning. It's inactive Petrograd. So we're going to flip it to its fortified side. Oh, you can't see it. I haven't. Let me do that. Sorry about that. There you go. So it's inactive, and now we flip it, and there it is. Now it is active. So it makes harder to advance there, but that's going to be this front, the Baltic front, when it comes back in, right?
Correct.
Okay. So it's good to have there. Okay, so that was the action phase. Political dissent, nothing. So I got to get rid of that button there. Okay, so it's here. Okay, so that was that card. And now we go to the headline phase. Next card. This one is Generals form volunteer army. No restrictions. Okay, and we have advances by the Southern Front. Okay, see the Southern Front in Saritsyn again to Orel. And we get 3 actions.
And we will be attacking the Southern Front.
Okay, we attack the Southern Front. It's going to be our first action with the 2 dice. And that's nothing. Fail.
And we'll do it again.
Okay, so we do it again. Here we go. This time it's a 2. Final 2, nothing.
And we'll do it again.
I don't think we have a choice. So here we go. Gonna push him back. So this time it is a modified 5. Because, no, sorry. It is a modified 6, actually. So that moves Denikin back to Saritsyn. No, that was a modified 5. No, what was a modified? Modified 6, yeah. I get confused. Okay. So that was those were our actions. And next is we did front movement. We did actions. There's no dissent. And we go to our next card. Finnish leader Mannerheim emerges. Replace the Finnish front with Mannerheim, but they're out, right?
Correct. Adios. We don't
They're
care.
out because they had the exit card come first. So we have advances by no one because both
Correct.
are inactive. So we got two actions.
Politics.
Okay, so let's roll for on the political level track. We have to roll higher than 3. So we roll 1d6. And it is a 4. So it goes up now to 3. We're still an international pariah, but almost getting out of there.
We'll do it again.
Okay, we do it again. Roll 1d6. And yes, a 5. So now we're out of that zone. So it's back to leftist sympathies. We're in the 4 box. So that's our action phase. There's no political dissent in this turn. So, bam, hit the wrong button. Sorry. Okay, so now we go to the next phase, which is card here. We take a new card. And it's extreme weather hampers operations. Let me see if I understand this here.
Let's roll a die.
Okay, we roll a die to see what, oh, there it is. A 1, 2, 3, and we have a result. 4, 5, 6 is another possible result. So let's roll the die here. It is a 1. So that means that there's no offensives allowed versus the eastern or southern front this turn. We have advances, but only by the allies. Okay.
Okay.
So the allies advance into Lake Onega. Okay. And we have 2 actions, but we cannot, as the card states here, we cannot attack the eastern or the southern fronts.
We're going to attack the allies.
Okay. Let's attack the allies here. So that's going to be our first action. We roll both dice. It's a 1 modified to a 2. That's a fail.
We'll do it again.
Okay, we do it again. So here we go. And this time it's a 5 modified to a 7. So that's good to push them back.
It is.
To Archangel. Okay, so that was actually our action phase. I gotta update this stuff. There's no political dissent in this card here.
Correct.
So we go to our next card. Headline phase. And it is Stalin defeats whites at Red Verdun. There's going to be +1 die roll modifiers versus Southern, and also a +1 to reorganize. So that's good.
What space are the Southern Front on?
The Southern Front is currently in Saritsyn. There you go. Okay.
And we have how many actions?
Okay, we have 3 actions, and there's no advances because Baltic and Poland are inactive. So we got our 3 actions.
We're going to attack the Southern Front.
Okay, we're attacking Bennikin there in the Southern Front. We roll 1d6. No, we roll our 2 dice because we have our bonus there. And that is a 3 modified to a 4, just enough. The 3 gives us a +1 to push him back to Kharkov. And
we're going to roll on the
we have
reorg table.
two actions left. What do you want to do? Reorganize?
Roll on the reorg table.
Okay. Oh, we actually had a +1 Southern, so it would have pushed him back anyway. Okay, so on the reorganization, we get a +1. So let's roll here. And a 4 + 1, 5. Not good enough.
We'll do it again.
And we roll again. Reorganization. Again, 4 + 1, 5. Man, It's a heartbreaker.
No problem. No, with reorgs, you just have to make the investment and keep rolling whenever you can.
Okay. So there's no political dissent phase called by the card. So go to our next card. And the next card is no war, no peace proclaimed. No restrictions, but we have a lot of advances here. We have advances by Eastern and Southern fronts. The Eastern front had been dormant for a while. So Kolchak advances now into Ufa. And the Eastern front, which is in Kharkov, advances into Saritsyn. Okay. And we have 3 actions.
We'll attack the southern front.
Okay, we're going to go against Denikin here in Saritsyn, southern front. So we roll our 2 dice. And it is a 4. So that's the minimum necessary to push him back to Kharkov. Okay.
And we will attack the eastern front.
And it was 3 actions, right? So we used, okay, this is our last action, right?
No, that was our first.
That was our first, yeah. So we still two actions left. Okay, so now I deduct 1 action. Okay, so we have 1 action left, and we attack the,
Correct.
Yeah, this is going to be our second action, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, for some reason I put up 2 actions, and it was supposed to be 3. Okay, so we're going to attack Kolchak here. And that is 6. That's good enough. Push him to Ekaterinburg. And we have 1 action left.
We're going to go to the political. We're going to take a political action.
Okay, you see there the political track. We roll 1d6. And it is a 2, so that's no good. So that's the end of the action phase. No dissent. So we go to our next card. Next card is Constituent Assembly dissolved. And there's going to be a roll for political dissent at the end of the turn. Advances, no advances, both that are shown there are inactive. So we have 3 actions.
So I'm just thinking, how many of them am I going to convert for the political dissent? And I'm going to take them all.
You're going to use them all for political dissent, okay? So that means that we go to the political dissent phase. We have a political dissent table. So we're going to roll a die and apply a +3. 1, 2, 3. So here we go. We roll 1d6. 3 + 3, 6. So we gain 2 political levels. So let's do that. And you will see here now, but by gaining 2 political levels, it goes up to 6. We're still in leftist sympathies, but we're
okay.
at
Now, one
6.
thing I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Remember when the fins were removed?
Yeah.
Can you place them in that box there? For tracking.
In here in the Great War status box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because to clarify for people who are watching the game, we cannot roll for the ultimate political victory until 4 of our enemies are in that box.
Oh, I see. Okay. So we would not be able to roll to get from here to here until we have 4 in the
Correct.
Okay.
There's no shortcuts.
Okay. This game is brutal.
We're doing okay. Let's keep on track.
Okay, so that was the political dissent phase. And we go to our next card. The headline phase. And this is Latvian Riflemen Support Red Cause. There's going to be a +2. That's a +2, right? Die roll modifier versus Baltic. Good for nothing. The Baltic are not in. And we have a +1 versus Southern or eastern. It says or, so
And we
okay.
and we have 3 actions.
We're going to have 3 actions. Okay, so advances by the eastern front. So let's do the advances. See the eastern front there in Ekaterinburg. So now it advances into Ufa. And we go to the action phase. We have 3 actions. And we just put them in there.
Let's attack the eastern.
Okay, let's go after the eastern front. So we're going to use our first action for that. And we get a +2 modifier against the white dice. So that's a 4, final 4. And that's good enough to send them back to Ekaterinburg. Got 2 actions left.
We'll attack the southern front.
Okay, so we go after the southern front now. Roll our 2 dice. The red die gives us a +2, so that's a 7. That's good enough to send them way back to their starting space in Crimea.
And we will attack the eastern front.
Now we'll attack the eastern front again. Here we go. So we roll both dice. We got another +2 modifier. That's a final 5. So that brings Kolchak back to Omsk. That was a good turn after all that lousy die rolling.
We will take it.
Okay, that's our Soviet action phase. Descent, there's no descent in this card. So there's no descent phase. Go to our next card. And it is Dunster Force lands to protect oil region. No restrictions, but automatically we lose a political point. So
fine.
Let's show that here. So our political point goes down to 5. We're still in the leftist sympathies area. Okay, so now we go to front advancement, and there's advances by the Eastern Front and the Allies. So the Eastern Front that we see there in Omsk advances into Ekaterinburg, and the Allies, which we had pushed them back all the way to Archangel, now move into Lake Onega.
And
Now
I believe we have only 1 action.
And we have, as the card indicates here, 1. Why is it a 1, not a 3?
It depends if Germany is capitulated.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So we only get 1. Okay. So let's place that action on the board.
We'll attack the Western Allies.
Okay, Western Allies. We roll our 2 dice. And it is that's a final 3. It's not good enough. Okay. That was our action phase. There's no political dissent. So let's grab a new card. Red Terror. No restrictions. There's going to be no advances because Finland is out of the game. And we get
1 action.
1 action. Okay.
And we'll attack the Allies.
Okay, so we will be attacking the Allies. So here we go. Our modified die roll is a 2. That's nothing. A 4, not good enough. That fails.
Okay.
And we go now to political dissent. No political dissent. Grab a new card. It's the 1st Red Cavalry Corps rides to victory. So we're going to have a +1 versus the Southern Front. That's good. So advances only by the Allies. Okay. So let's do that. The Allies are in Lake Onega, so now they advance close to Moscow, in Vologda. Pity, we got a +1 against the Southern Front, but the Allies are knocking down our door. So We have the Soviet action phase. We have 2 actions.
And we will attack the Western Allies.
Yeah, there's not much of a choice there. We attack the Western Allies. So that's going to be our first action. Red die gives us a 5 added to a 1. That's a total of final 3. Not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay, so our last action. Again, we attack. This time we get a +1, so it's a final die roll of 6. And that's good enough.
Excellent.
To send the
It
Allies
is.
back to Lake Onega in the nick of time. Didn't have to spend our last, what do you call it, reserve there. So that was our action phase. There's no political dissent. So now we go to our next card. And the next card is German capitulation. The Great War ends.
All right.
So yeah, I have to update this thing here. Wait, oops. No, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Sorry. The board here in the Great War status, we are treaty accepted. Yeah, that's where we are, actually. Okay. So here we have that Germany capitulates. So now we're going to be adding the Dawn cards. We will replace Germany with Yudenich and activate the Baltic track. And the Allies are already activated. No offensives versus the Baltic this turn. And the Southern Army will be advancing. How many cards do we have left? Let me... Oh, because we still have the... Now we add the Dawn card. So we still have... Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards here. And how many Dawn cards are there? I think there's... I'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it will be a total of 23 cards left without counting the Polish cards. So that's going to be...
The poll should bring it up to 30.
Yeah, 30. So we're right in the halfway point, right?
Correct. Although the Polish cards haven't been shuffled in yet, although the Polish National Uprising is in the deck.
Is in the and now it would be placed according to the variant. Now we would place it, right?
Yes, the Polish National Uprising now gets shuffled into the deck.
Okay. So what if we just set it up and we leave it there for tomorrow? We start with the balance of the game. What do you think?
Actually, the timing is perfect in terms of 30 cards. So
okay. So first we add the Dawn cards. So I have the Dawn cards here. These are the Dawn cards.
Yes.
And we have to add the Polish National Uprising card, right?
Correct.
So we would add these here, and we add the Dawn cards with the Polish National Uprising to the... lights fell off, just a second. To the draw pile. So I'll be shuffling that right now. Let me see if this works here. Yeah, so people can see my shuffling skills here. Okay, so it's... I know there's better ways.
Okay, well,
yeah.
So we're in reasonably good shape. We've made it through the most 2 dangerous decks, which is the Twilight Events and the Darkness cards. And the Finns are gone. The Baltic is back with Yudenich, but we've got Petrograd fortified, so that's really helpful. The Czech Legion has not appeared, which was the plan all along. And we're now getting to the point where we're quote unquote over the hump, and we want to start removing enemies from the board. So we have how many actions for this last turn?
For this last turn, we got 2 actions, but we still have to do some other things here. Let me see. Replace Germany with Yudenich. So Yudenich is... Here he is. No, this is Wrangel. Yudenich is a 3. So where is he placed? In the number 4 box?
In Riga.
Okay, so he goes to Riga here.
Mm-hmm.
And what else we have to do here? And allies are activated. No offensives versus the Baltic this turn. And we have advances by the Southern Army. So the
And where's the Southern right now?
Southern Army is all the way in there, in the Crimea space.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
they advance into Kharkov. That would be the front movement phase. And we get 2 actions.
Where are the allies?
The allies are in Lake Onega.
Mm-hmm. And you said the Southern, did they advance or? Yes, they did.
The Southern advance, yeah, they just advance into Kharkov, yeah.
We're going to attack the Southern front.
Okay, so we'll be attacking the Southern front there. So that's going to be our first action. Here we go. The red die roll gives us a +2 modifier. That's an 8. Wow, that was brutal. Back to Crimea. We got 1 action left.
We will attack the Western Allies.
Okay, the Western Allies. They're in Lake Onega, our final action. Roll both dice. And it is a final 3, so that is a fail there.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that is that card. That's going to be our card. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not even going to show the next card so people can tune in tomorrow. So tomorrow you're going to see the cards left. We're going to be keeping a track. We'll put it at 30 and we'll start counting down. I'll try to automate it a little bit. And but it's been I thought we were going to get out of the game sooner, but we staved off an early defeat in the game. We're still in the game.
It was close.
It was close. It was close. We still have 1 political decree, 1 offensive. We burned a lot of offensives, political level. We're smack in the middle there. So, yes, it's been a lot of fun.
I've been trying to gently move it up because I know pressure points that drive it down. So we're in decent shape, and I've just been dealing with the military situation as best I can, but trying to keep the political track moving up because we really would like to get the allies to be indecisive.
Yeah, yeah. So
we'll see you again tomorrow night.
Tomorrow it will be at, your time is Pacific. It's 5 o'clock Pacific. I know it's 8 o'clock Atlantic, and I think Eastern is the same. So it's 8 o'clock tomorrow, 8 p.m. So everybody who tuned in, we got 19 people. That's great. Really appreciate it. So I hope you enjoyed the game and you've catched some insights from David. So when you play this game, you got some cards under your sleeve that you can play. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And as I always say, thank you, David. And this is Stuka Joe signing off for now. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.